Ladies and gentlemen, this is why the Giants are who they have been the last decade. What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video, and I am extremely disappointed today. I don't know why the Giants continue to be the same exact team and expect to be different, to expect to be better in the long run.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
Really quick, this video is sponsored by BetUS. Make sure you guys check out BetUS for a 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit. Your second and third are 125% as long as you use the promo code YouTube150. That is YouTube150 at BetUS.com. Check them out, and let's get back to the video. Now, as you guys know, the trade deadline was today, and all of it is finalized. At 4 p.m. today, everything was finalized, and we saw a couple of good trades that happened today, including the Washington Commanders trading for Marshon Lattimore. That is a huge one, because if you guys know anything about the Washington roster right now, probably their biggest weakness is the secondary, especially that outside corner position, and now they have a true number one corner out there, and all of a sudden, their defense looks a lot better. Their team just gets a lot better, just putting him in there, adding the necessary pieces, and they're 7-2 right now. Now, we'll see how long their Cinderella season lasts, but it seems like they're built for the long run. If you look back with the Giants in 2022, we got away with a lot, right? There was a lot of wins we probably shouldn't have won. Washington is straight up blowing out teams, looking like the better team in the majority of these games, and they find ways to win in that respect in the close ones as well. Jaden Daniels looks like an absolute star as a rookie quarterback, and Adam Peters, who was, ironically enough, the runner-up for the GM position that Joe Schoen wound up getting, and Adam Peters already seems like he's on a better track. Now, again, we are halfway through a NFL season. We have no idea where Adam Peters is going to take this franchise, the Washington Commanders, but I'm going to be comparing them for the foreseeable future, especially if Joe Schoen remains to be the GM. And so far, Washington looks like they're on a better track than the Giants were coming out of 2022. Now, in 2022, the Giants started 6-1, which was great, and I thought it was going to continue to be that way, but we eventually started crashing down. We're going to wait to see what happens with Washington, but if you look at the way they're running their organization right now, remember, they were in just as bad of a spot at Washington when Adam Peters took over as the Giants were when Joe Schoen took over. I mean, the Giants may have been maybe even slightly worse. I don't even think so. I think Washington may have been worse, but because they still had to figure out what they were doing at quarterback and this, that, and the third. But Washington is straight up looking like a really good team. The Giants were squeaking out wins in 2022. They really weren't blowing anybody out. They were middle of the pack at all of their stats besides the running game with Saquon, and it was a Cinderella season. But the reason why I bring that up is because, you know, Washington is making moves. They're trading for the necessary pieces to bring on and win. The Giants have tried that as well. Joe Schoen just brought in Brian Burns. He's brought in guys like Darren Waller. He's traded for guys before and has done things in free agency. But we haven't seen it really do much, honestly, since his tenure here. I mean, the Giants are in bad shape. They are 2-7, the exact opposite record of the Washington Commanders right now, and the Giants did not sell. The Giants have only been buyers because they're trying to buy in to this team contending, which we all knew, even in 2022, that the beginning of the 2022 season, nobody anticipated with that roster that the Giants were going to do what they did. They found a way to win games, and I really credit that to Brian Daboll and Wink Martindale, as coaches. But the Giants have never really been sellers. You know, I made a video on who I think the Giants should trade if they're not planning to move on with them in the future. Guys that I, brought up where Kayvon Thibodeau, Darius Slayton, Azeez Ojulari, maybe even throwing Evan Neal in there. I had a couple of names. And even big names. Now, I probably do not recommend this at all. Guys, do not think that I am saying this at all. But even like big names like Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas are names that if you get a serious haul you're going to consider. But there is a report today. Mike Garafolo reported in along with other beat writers, and they said that the Giants were fielding a lot of calls. They were getting a lot of calls for Azeez Ojulari, who is our backup defensive end right now, backup outside linebacker, who has 6 sacks so far in the season, and he was getting a lot of trade calls, and deservingly so. He's having a really good season for a backup edge rusher, and the Giants could get some value for if they don't plan to move on with him. Apparently, their asking price was too high for a backup edge rusher that has 6 sacks. What was too high for you? And I'm saying that to Joe Schoen. I'm saying that, what was your price? Like, was it a 3rd round pick? Did you really think you're going to get something high for Azeez Ojulari? He's a backup edge rusher that's having a good season right now, and that when he's on the field, he plays like a good starter. Get something out of him. If you don't plan to extend this man, get something out of him. And if you plan to extend him, how much are you going to pay him? Because he is the backup edge rusher. Kayvon Thibodeaux, yes, has dealt with injury concerns, but he is the clear starter there. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe Kayvon Thibodeaux winds up being the backup guy until Azeez Ojulari eventually gets hurt. And that's another thing we have to bring up. Azeez Ojulari always gets hurt. Is he a guy that you want to keep around and extend? But apparently the Giants were getting a lot of calls for Azeez Ojulari, and nothing happened. We need to try to get as much picks as we can in this draft so that we can either, 1, trade them, or 2, use them and help build out this roster. And even I'm not even so optimistic about that, because you look at our draft classes. Yes, this past one in 2024 looks pretty damn promising, but 2022 and 2023, I mean, there's just not much there. And in 2023, there's nothing there. I mean, there is no player that's really making an impact on this team. Maybe you could say JMS. But other than that, Deonte Banks is a liability. Jalen Hyatt does not see the field. And the rest of the guys are 2 guys from that draft class that are healthy scratches. And I'm saying this right now. If Azeez Ojulari does not get extended at the end of the season, because that's the only reason why I would think Azeez Ojulari is sticking around on the team right now. If he does not get extended, Joe Schoen should just lose his job. Because what are you doing? You've been buyers in multiple seasons that have ended up to be absolutely nothing. And you failed to sell and trade away players that you can get quick and instant value for, and decide to keep them around to try to extend them, and you wind up not doing that. Just go away. I mean, we'll find somebody else. So I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you guys... I mean, listen, we're 2-7, guys. It doesn't even matter who we have on the field right now. I know we want to fight for pride, but if you have an opportunity to help make your team better in the next seasons, you got to do it. If you really care about the Giants, you got to do it. So, this season doesn't really matter anymore. We are basically out of playoff contention. So trading away guys like Darius Slayton and Azeez Ojulari and maybe Evan Neal, if you can get something out of them, would be the best ideal situation. So they should have done the same thing last year with Xavier McKinney. Xavier McKinney was already having a huge asking price. The Giants didn't seem at all interested in extending him. We saw that in Hard Knocks. There was no contract disputes at all with Xavier McKinney, and we just let him go. Now, we're going to get a comp pick for him. I think it's going to be like a 4th round comp pick. But we could have at least got like a 4th rounder and a player, 4th rounder and a 6th, something. Flip him for something and try to maximize your value to help this team. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. And I'll see you all in the next video. Woo!